Check it out. So this is a little impromptu talk between me and UFO. I'm sure many of you guys are familiar with him across from sticker submissions and maybe some of his own YouTube videos. So just ended up starting recording a little bit into the conversation. So here's what we got, a little bit over an hour worth of work. And feel free to jump over to his channel and show some love. He also said he might chop down and do a little bit of highlight reel of the whole thing. So maybe check that out as well. Enjoy.
Way of life, you could say. It's like, well, why is there conflict just because I accidentally, clipped a tag or something of yours? It's but at most of the time, well, not most of the time, some of the time, people are just looking for trouble.
Oh, yeah, we both know someone that does that exact thing. So there's definitely got
Yes,
to be more that exist.
yeah, yeah, and it's just like, well, they need to spice up their life with a bit of beef.
Hey, I mean, but
Uh,
the art's there for that. Art is literally just there to spice up your life. It's you taking, resources around you and trying to make something more interesting out of it. And I can't be a huge judge when I try to make something interesting out of it, and you're just trying to make it interesting in your own way, even if that is, rummaging the pot or, shaking things up a little.
yeah, yeah, like I definitely understand it. Like I to be honest, I the other week when I don't know if you caught that video that I was talking about the bill posters that were going over, deceased artists and my
Okay,
art and everyone's art.
all right. I
Um,
didn't catch that one,
I
but
was yeah, I was really keen to kind of not go to war, just kind of beef with these bill posters and
hmm
just go everywhere and like go over them with stickers and just like start my own kind of beef with the bill posters, not anyone in particular per se. It's just this particular bill poster that was going over everyone's street art. And I once I found out that the main Pressgrave Lane, which is a pretty well-known art lane in Melbourne, they blatantly went over someone's uh, like a fair few people's pay stubs, and like I was going to go back there and just cover it once again because they covered someone initially, and then
okay.
I did a sticker bomb over it, and then they come back a day later and went over it with the same poster again.
Gee.
So they're like pretty serious with the fact that they're trying to promote this thing that they were promoting, and I was like, well, I'm going to keep going back there and covering it because
Yeah,
I'm
back
trying to
and forth.
withhold I'm trying to withhold the art scene within that lane because like who wants to watch it get smashed by bill post advertisement. So I told everyone in the like all my Melbourne sticker friends, it's like, well, should we do this, should we cover it? And they're well, one went there and tried peeling the whole thing off completely, and the
Okay.
business owner actually come out and said, well, like that's still art, like people
Fair.
got to make
Yeah,
money. I'm like,
that's
man,
true.
if that was me, I would have been like, man, that's not art, man. Like in the nicest way possible. I don't mean to disrespect, but like
Yeah,
you can't like. Yeah, I reckon
advertisers
that.
is such a weird predicament, right? Because
Mm,
they're trying to make money off of that. And like they could sell zero, which doesn't, help their case, but in the end, they're trying to make money off of it, and regardless of whoever is being paid to put it up, they're consuming public space. And they definitely don't they operate in kind of an illegal sense? Like they don't have permission to do that in the first place. Don't like I know that's been a
yeah, well,
stink with the US a few times.
yeah, in most cases, it's all illegal ad campaign,
hmm
and the fact that they claim that it wasn't illegal. Like they were saying that they were claiming that they paid for where they put these posters everywhere, but know for sure that a lot of the places were just going over businesses that were up for sale and stuff. So
Right, no one's
just
gonna complain.
blatantly going over street art. But the biggest thing about it is that graffiti and street art is illegal still. So it's just as illegal as bill posting. So that's why it's kind of like a thing within. It's like a inside kind of beef that is happening.
Yeah, I mean that's a funny thing. I forget who said it first, but they were just like, Yeah, if I ever get like kind of caught up in someone seeing me post up or, slap some stickers up, it's always, yeah, it's just for a local band. I'm advertising, and sure enough, that looks a little bit better, maybe 5% than, nope, this is just my artwork that I'm forcing people to look at equally. So,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, generally that's what most of the bill posters are around in Melbourne too. It's just like band promoting or
sure,
movies and
yeah.
stuff. But this particular bill poster, I shouldn't talk too much more about this, but the fact that it was they were promoting an art gig, so they were going over street art to promote an
Oh,
art gig to make money, you know. But then they were saying, "Oh yeah, we respect street art," and it's like, what? You don't respect? You don't
that's
respect? You're going right
wild.
over it. But
I wouldn't expect that.
yeah,
Through your entire description, I took it as a movie or something, as it normally is, but that's a little selfish. Yeah, I definitely equally don't justify that on another tenfold.
yeah, that's that's really what comes down to. But that's it's all right. Like it's just another thing. That's just a part of the streets, really.
Yeah,
It's
and
always
it
been a
it
thing.
always kind of falls into then like, what's the paradigm when your art is photographed out in a public space and then an advertising campaign wants to use it in their backdrop? Like there was a ton of that maybe 6 months, 8 months ago with murals and stuff getting cut in the background of car commercials and H&M, and the artist being like, "Hey, I don't represent anything that has to do with this company," and they're actively using my art in the backdrop. But it's like, do you have much grounds of, just because you did it illegally doesn't mean you gave up the rights to it, or are you giving up all rights when you post something in the public space?
Yeah, I remember seeing something like that, H&M, and yeah, I remember there was a big stigma around it. There was a lot of people sharing this post, which most likely was fake.
Yeah,
Uh,
of course, yeah.
but it said, yeah, it said to H&M is letting anyone, go to their window and put art
Oh
up.
yeah, yeah.
I
Those were pretty
remember that.
funny. The actually one in
Yeah.
Philly, some guy went out with a big like fire extinguisher full of painting, did a big tag on front of it. I didn't get a chance to see it in person because they cleaned it up the next day, but sure enough, people took to the walls to support the artists. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. When I first saw it, everyone was sharing it at the time, and I'm like, that can't be legit. It can't be like, but it was a really good idea because, well, if people think it's legit, I mean, obviously it's tricking people, but
Yep.
at the same time, it's like, yeah, a lot of people were probably going there and then bloody giving them back to them,
Right.
put them on the windows.
Gotta love the creative slander that somebody can come up with.
Yeah, most definitely.
I don't know. I feel like the public space art is a cool interest, and I guess for so many instances you get it for free and you get to just appreciate the murals and whatnot. So that's enough on most occasions that I don't pass judgment when crummy stuff happens, because how often is it, really taking down something that isn't going to be painted over soon enough anyways? Everything does have a life, and granted it sucks when you take it a little too soon, but you know there is this life cycle to almost any mural, I'm sure. So
Yeah, definitely just comes all down to all that, most definitely. And the fact that people, they, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but
we'll take it.
yeah, but we'll take it. And the fact that, well, I don't know, like the livelihood of something lasting on the streets, it's like that's the art of it. So just say, for example, people ask me sometimes, what are the best stickers? What are the best stickers to use? And I just say whatever you can get your hands on is fine, because if you can get your hands on free stuff from USPS or someone who works in DHL or whatnot, just use whatever you can get, because stickers, nothing's permanent.
Right.
Nothing's ever permanent. Like, paint markers, they are permanent in a sense, but they will eventually fade or get buffed.
Hmm.
And stickers, like eggshells, they're You know, they're like they'll stay. You know, graffiti and eggshells and stuff will stay up as long as they can live. But you know, at the same time, nothing lasts forever. That's why I say, well, use anything you can. You know, put any. You know, use anything you can get as a blank, and because it will make you, it will push you to produce more stickers and put them up more
Yeah, you're
and
definitely
just
a man of volume, that's for sure. Yeah,
well,
you
yeah, I
just
mean
stick.
that's the way. It's the way to do it because I find that most stickers that I put up in, like, say, sticker slapping episodes or just in general, whenever I'm putting stickers up and I go back to those places, most of them aren't there anyway when I
Does
go back the
Melbourne
next time.
clean pretty frequently, or?
Well, I reckon sometimes it could be the fact that people peel them off
Mm,
because they want to keep them as a souvenir, or they just kind of flake off because probably the surface, because a lot of surfaces are dirty as hell in Melbourne. Like,
yeah, I agree with
and
that. That finding a clean surface that a sticker can last on is sometimes harder than you'd think, without having three stickers underneath it that are all withering. And but I can say that it is a nice feeling when you go back to a place 3 years later and something's still riding pretty nicely. That is a fun find. But I
yeah,
totally
I
agree.
love.
I save my quality vinyls and stuff for when I know I'm giving it to somebody that might put it up, or when I know I'm going to be putting it up. But I save all my thermals and whatnot for the masses, because I know I put a lot of stickers into books and boxes before they see the streets much at all. So you don't really need to do the overkill when it's probably just going to stay in a nice dry place, or get traded around a few times.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's also the question I get. I get the question sometimes too about, you know, what are Sive's thermals like in terms of the weather resistant? And I, you know, I don't. That's a you know, that could be a misconception people get when I promote or do something. Like, I don't get paid for promoting like drunk slaps,
Sure, sure.
backyard prints. Yeah, like I tell the truth, my point of view, you know. And when someone asks me, well, your thermals, how do they work in the weather? And I say, all the ones I put up, no word of a lie. Not because I'm a big fan of you or anything. The fact the fact that all the thermals I put up in the streets in pure rain distance, they're fine. None of them are faded. None of them are like no, there's like no problem with them
I mean,
at all.
I use the stickers too. I'm not gonna sell, like, something that's I don't want to put my designs on, but I totally get what you mean. Thermals get a terrible name because of, the UPS ones that most people print off real cheap, because those will burn out and the images won't work well. But, I definitely sought out a nice source, and the material is a little bit plastic, so it doesn't hold up perfect against rain and weather, but for the price, someone put it, they're beater stickers. You don't care if stays up and lasts for 3 months or 6 months or a year, great. But if it gets torn down, it literally costs you like 10 cents a sticker. Like, you're not gonna have to whine about that because you got 40 more. Like, they're one of those things for the masses.
Yep, quantity, very large quantity of them. It makes up with the maybe, you know, maybe it's not gonna the, you know, as you were saying, the traditional thermals. You know, like you have so many of them that it doesn't matter if they don't last. Like, they're good for pack fillers
Yep.
and for any other, you know, any application that's not involved with the weather. And like, I actually thought about getting just a cheap thermal printer. I don't know if you've
Hmm.
heard of Middle Class Society from Sydney, but
No, I don't think I have.
he he has um he has a thermal printer, and for a while I was just getting like some stuff printed from him because he just had a cheap like $100 thermal printer,
Hmm.
and like I love quantity, as you know,
Right.
and and like I was getting a fair few from him just because I was like, well, the quantity, you know, of it. It's just so many of these, you know, quickly printed thermal prints that I was thinking of getting one myself, and you know, like possibly doing that what you do too, but like
Sure.
that's the thing. Like, since we're, since we're, are we on? Are we recording?
We are recording.
So, should we address the couple of questions that I've been getting? So,
Yeah, by
like,
all means,
like
let's do it.
saying, like, between the difference between sticker submissions and send and slap submissions.
Sure.
So basically, I've been told that my send and slap submissions are pretty similar to your sticker submissions, which is very, very true. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but what I like to clear up is that I contacted you about it, didn't I?
Yeah, definitely. We
Before,
chatted before you started the series, I thought.
yeah, and the fact that I even said, well, I like you suggested change the name, so I changed the name to Send and Slap. So the biggest like the thing I get the most is it's pretty similar, or I haven't really been called what would you call it, copying your
Sure, sure.
stuff.
Yep.
So, but I feel that if I feel that we should, since we're doing this stream, well, this podcast, it's got to. We should just clear it up here because
Yeah,
just in
by all
case for the
means. I mean,
future.
I obviously don't own the rights to every sticker trade video on the internet. Like, I just happen to like to make them. So, yeah, when you reached out to me, it was sounded like a cool derivative. People were able to send you stickers, and you would do your best to, put them up instead of trade them around and whatnot. And my one critique was, weren't you calling it sticker submissions explicitly? And I was just like, brand it as something that you want. Don't brand it exactly how I have, because by all means, that just one's going to help new people find it, and it's going to give it a nice name to differentiate it from everybody else's sticker trade series and whatnot. So,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and it power to you. I obviously can't handle every sticker in the world. Well, it's foolish to think that I would want to either. Like, I like to pack and exchange stickers and check out what people want to send me, and that's fine by me. But I have no hard feelings when other people want to trade with other people and other people want to do other things. Like, there's so many opportunities for people to send stickers around. I wouldn't expect anybody to think that I'm a gatekeeper for the only place you can trade stickers and it's the only trade service. Like, I'm definitely not the first trade service and I'm not the last. It's just it's just a fun thing to keep the channel with flooded with videos that are honestly on the easier side to make, because just sit down and open some packs and flip through the cool art. And for you, I'm sure it's the same. I'm sure you get a nice kick out of checking what people send you and then going and do the second half of putting some of it up and making some pretty sweet combos.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I when when I did message you about the Send a Slap submission video series, at that time I was like, well, I don't know, I don't want to copy SIVE by any means, but I do want to do something similar. So I kind of came up with that concept where if people want to send in to me, they can send in, and then I'll put a couple of their stickers up in the next episode, and therefore people get a couple of features in like 2 free videos.
Yeah, that definitely has a ton of value to anybody that wants to send in, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the fact that people are sending in is what's blown me away.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
I'm
like
surprised every day.
yeah, like it's always great to see that people are interested in sending me some. Like, I know, because I don't they don't get anything in return. They just get a video feature and another video feature, and they go on the streets of Melbourne. But it's like, man, it's like I always say to everyone, like, I appreciate it so much. I appreciate all the support people are giving me, and the fact that people want to send in stickers to me and they watch my videos and they comment and they're liking, and they're really, it's really kind of not overwhelming, but I don't know the word I'm looking for. It's just like it's really cool that all this is a thing. Like, people. I always get messages. Like, I'm not trying to like top talk myself or anything, but
No worries.
it's just kind of like the fact that people say, like, I'm inspired by your videos. You made me start stickers, and I'm like, that's so hard. They're so heart touching.
Yeah, it is a
It's like,
weird thing. I get that too, and it's hard to know what that. It's a very foreign sensation. Like, you don't in your day to day, you don't have or I guess I don't have friends that are like, wow, you are so inspiring. Like that isn't a commonality to like day-to-day life. So it is this kind of foreign, like I don't know if I'm impacting people with sharing other people's artwork, and I don't know if people are really impacted by the art I'm sharing. I just am having fun doing it, but it's a weird kind of bonus to all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? It's just like it's really cool that what you do on YouTube is that's what people they look for in most senses. Like I remember your older videos, man. I freaking loved your old like I love all your videos,
Much
but I
appreciated,
remember the very old stuff, like how to make ink and all that stuff. It's
for
like you've
sure.
been doing YouTube for so long, and
Oh, I
like there's
have.
so much, there's like so much impact, positive impact, and great information that you've shared on videos.
Yeah, I mean
It's like,
that's half the reason I like art is like just studying a piece of artwork or a style that someone's done and being like, all right, how do I do that? Because that looks sick, and if I can get 10% closer to that, I think my art would do better. So sharing those opportunities, and anytime I find something cool to make, and the kind of the DIY stuff has always been the bigger hits to me. That's like, why do I, for some reason, I find interest in this random thing. Why not share that with other people and add 10 or 15% of a new skill or my new interpretation to a skill on top of it?
hmm, that's the best part about it. You get to share how you
Uh,
just share your art endeavors.
for sure. I mean, that
Yeah.
backs on the fact that there are, community backbones to all this and tons of other people doing it. So it's, in my opinion, it's way more fun just to do cool stuff and share it with other people and see what cool stuff they come up with. And I've gotten critiques of, well, you can't really teach tutorials or you're blowing up techniques on different things. And it's like, yeah, but if I can teach you how to make a slightly cooler artwork and help propel you faster into as a better artist, like that sounds more fun to me, doesn't it? Like if everybody can be making cooler work, like who loses?
Yeah, that's the way. Like, yeah, it it's really cool. Like how I was speaking to someone the other day about also the fact that uh, there's Instagram, just like social media, just the internet in general has changed everything so differently within street art.
Definitely.
It's like back in the day, it was all just kind of word of mouth, and you see it with your own eyes. But now it's all it's so much easier to share your art endeavors on the internet, and anyone can really look at them. And it's
Yeah,
like,
that's for sure.
and you just come across so much good stuff.
What I think's gonna be
And
funny with that is like, let alone my art's documented online for the past 15 years, you know, really, really good artists' art's gonna be documented online for those same 25 years from when they start. So I think it's just gonna be, I think we're gonna get some really cool art out of just people being able to document their whole trajectory. And so you're going to be able to see like, yeah, you can actually start off and be really crappy, and practice does make you a little bit better. Whereas that's what a lot of people say, but there's no kind of documentation of Salvador Dali's original sketches when he was 12. Like that doesn't really exist in the quantity that we're going to have in 10 years from now.
yeah, a- and the fact that that's just like the fact that you can kind of record everything that you do.
Hell, I mean, the fact
You
that we
can,
can talk to each other across the world, like, that wasn't
yeah,
accessible too long ago. Like, in
yeah,
pretty much real time and really good audio quality, like, that's a wild thing.
yeah. And the only time my headphones don't freaking
Right,
work.
right. Of course, and the little bit of hardware that holds between us is holding it back. But even still, like, it's a wild world that the internet's provided.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because I mean that I don't know about you, but I grew up in a super small town and had no access to anybody that did graffiti, and happened upon it online when I was looking up how to do some different things, and that's how I got into it. So I'm a guilt of the 21st century in that I only found this art form because I knew how to Google around a little bit, but
Yeah. I don't know, man. For some reason, I think I remember. I don't know if like this is. I don't know if you want to disclose this or anything, but did you have another YouTube channel before your main channel, other than
yes,
5 seconds? And
yeah, and it contained the same video that my throwy video that I started my channel with. I,
okay, yeah.
but that was, I think that I had like one home video on there of like skiing with friends, and then the throw up video, and that's why it's titled SIVE Throwy 2, is because why not title it a second one so they're a little bit different. And
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know if that, I'll have to look up, see if that channel is, my guess is YouTube's deleted it at this point because I haven't uploaded in how long? But
Well, you never know. That's the thing with that's the thing. Like same with Instagram, right? I've been trying to get the at UFO for so long,
oh geez, yeah, that must be,
and there's this account that's inactive. Very very obvious that it's inactive. It's just
of
like
course.
someone's spam account or something.
Yep.
Uh, it's just YOUFO,
Mm-hmm.
and I've tried to message him so many times. I've tried to report it for fake. I've tried to
Oh.
do everything to get the domain, to get the user, but it's like, well, I did a bit of research for a long time because I've been on and off trying to get it for a long time,
Okay.
and I checked out Google and it said, well, after 2 years or 3 years of inactiveness,
Uh-huh.
their accounts get deleted, and I'm like, I've been checking it every couple of months and it's still there. So,
Crossing your
so who
fingers.
knows? I reckon that old channel of yours will still be there, man. Like no joke.
I'm not finding it. YouTube did a huge wash of old accounts when, I don't know, 5 years ago. So I guess if I can't find it, no one else can. But maybe someone
Yeah,
can drag it up.
yeah, maybe.
But yeah, it's a wild thing that, you know, one, trying to score usernames is a funny thing because I was lucky enough to get somewhat of a relevant Instagram when Instagram came out, and YouTube's kind of a wash with a bunch of eyes in front of my name, but I guess it really doesn't matter after all, and then you're not really searching for channel names, more so video styles. But
Yeah, yeah.
that's the worst part I see with people that send in for me for sticker submissions. They'll send in, and it does take a month or so between when you send and by the time the video gets uploaded, and their Instagram will be just non-existent at that point, even if I can find and type it in
Mm,
perfectly. It's like, not that branding is essential, but really, if you can't hold down a name for a little while, it's, you know, I guess that is a kind of a double-edged sword. With, if you don't like the name, it's good to drop it when you want to, but it's funny
mm.
to see that I've just kind of stuck with it and not looked back at this point.
Yeah, like back in the day, I tried so many different kind of methods to at close to get to UFO as possible as a username.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, once I started doing trades and stuff, like how you can tag, how people tag you in photos, it goes in your tag folder
Yeah,
on your
definitely.
yeah. They once I started doing trades, I just kind of stopped at UFO sign here because at that point in time I was kind of doing, I don't know if you ever saw the like kind of, I call them scribble tags because they're like scribble. It's like a signature.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point in time, I was only really doing the signature stuff and maybe a couple of alien things.
Okay.
And the fact that they the fact that people were tagging me in the packs they were getting from me, I was like, well, I shouldn't change it now. So I just kind of stuck with what I've got now. And
Mm-hmm.
then if I ever do change it, it'll be just UFO if I get there.
Right. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least that, like, the search for it is, the first five letters are exactly what people would start to try and look for if they can, remember your name. Which is, the interesting thing that I've had to leverage, like hashtags and stuff before, to try to dig up different artists and whatnot. And I never really used to do hashtags, but now I try to do somewhat, I don't know, keywords, just easy stuff that might help someone find it if they can't quite remember exactly what they were looking for.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I yeah, I try to use. I just kind of copy and paste all the same tags that I use for Instagram posts.
I've
It's
heard
just
bad things
easier.
about that.
Yeah.
I don't mean to worry you, but I've heard that that catches some of their algorithms, and those, if your page has every photo has the same exact hashtags, it won't suggest those as some of the, when someone searches for them, because it takes it
Ah,
as somewhat spam. I don't know
yeah.
if I'm just causing worry, but someone
Oh no,
posted that at one
it
point.
it's most definitely fine, man. In most cases, I don't really mind. The photos and stuff aren't getting anywhere. It's just
Yeah.
as long as the people on YouTube can find my page, which they can, and that's really what matters to me. But what the tags on YouTube are what kind of a bigger thing to me now. It's like I've been copy and pasting those more
Okay.
often,
I definitely
and
agree with that on YouTube. A little bit different story there.
yeah, because um uh it's like, well, I shouldn't, like, I don't know if I should mention it. It's not like it's not bad, but the other week, there's this channel on YouTube called UFO, but it's spelt the same as me,
Hmm.
and they kind of got a bit upset at the fact that if you type in UFO on YouTube, that none of their videos come up anymore,
Just yours.
just mine. So, and I'm like, well, you can't be upset with me, man, because the YouTube algorithm is working.
Right.
Like,
It's suggesting a
it's
channel that
not.
has good content.
Yeah, it's not the fact that I was really nice to him. Like, I was civil. I was like, it's not my fault that this is how the YouTube algorithm works. They're not trying to censor you because you're trying to promote UFO sightings and stuff. But
Is that
I
literally what they do?
yeah, that's what they do.
Oh
So
boy.
yeah,
Well,
they
granted, they
yeah,
probably don't do much.
if people were like staying up to date on my Instagram the other week or a couple of weeks ago, depending on when this is up, I they kind of they were calling me, they were calling me out and shit. So I was like, well, I'm sorry, but it's nothing to do with me. There's no reason for you to talk this filth to me, like,
They're at a lost cause if they're really
yeah,
trying to
and
pull at you like
yeah,
that.
yeah, it's like, well, it's I'm sorry, but it's not my fault that, that's what happens when you type up that name, but it's probably unfortunate for them. They're trying to, broadcast a message across, and I fully understand
Dude,
it. Like,
stop pissing off the aliens. Come on.
yeah, yeah, uh, but yeah, like, it seems like I like to get a little bit of feedback now and again when, just say, new people come across my videos on YouTube. Like, how did they find it, where they come
Hmm.
across it, and a lot of it's from recommendations and
Dude,
just typing up graffiti stickers
a
and stuff like that.
1000% of it is that they're like was listening to a podcast the other day, and literally YouTube's entire website is based off of recommended videos.
Yeah.
Like from the homepage, consider all of those recommended videos because they're probably not your subscriptions. And then once you start a video feed, you're just gonna jump to one of the first five things on the next one. And
Mhm.
their whole job is to keep you on the website, so they're just gonna keep that rolling and hopefully feed you the best videos that they can.
Yeah. It's yeah, that's how it goes. Because yeah, I noticed that a fair few of your videos were um going going really well. Like, I think it was how to. It's like just starting like from a simple S or a simple B, and then
Hmm.
going to like critiquing like really high detail, like a piece kind of design, and like that was like a really cool thing. So I suppose that got picked up by recommendations, or whatnot. It's funny how the YouTube algorithm works, and I've found if you, because I've added graffiti in my titles,
Okay.
like graffiti stickers, it seems to get the message across further that, like, yeah, these, it's like I'm making videos about stickers, but not stickers, like
Yeah,
like they're
yeah,
stickers, but they're,
yeah.
it's hard to explain because there's so many different words for sticker slapping, like sticker art, sticker, sticker graffiti
Hmm.
stickers, slap tagging. Like, what do I use? What's the most common thing to use? So people don't get the wrong misconception about what my videos are about.
That's always a sore spot for me. It's like, do I title this as accurate as I would like to, or do I title it what would get you to come look at it? Like, I am not
Mm.
one for clickbait, but at some point, you know, there's a reason that my top 5 videos are all how to. It's because that gets you to 50% of the way in, and then it's how to blank graffiti, and you just fill in the blank, and it's really easy for YouTube to suggest that and people to know exactly what they're getting when they're going to click on the video. And if they know what they're
Yeah,
getting, chances are they're probably going to stay there a little longer. So that's kind of
yeah,
the sick part about it, is because like my most recent mural video didn't do great. Like, it did plenty fine. I was happy with it, did better than average, but it wasn't, compared to the effort that went into producing that video, is a third of what, or 3 times what most videos are, and it doesn't perform equally. So that's always kind of the bitterness of, well, if I had done a catchy title, would it have gotten more views, or does that really matter?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
at no point am
It,
I able to make a living off of YouTube earnings, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just making it for myself more or less and sharing with everybody else anyway, so I can't be that bitter. Like,
yeah. Well, the fact that I honestly thought when you uploaded that video with the, if I remember correctly, Game of Thrones, yes,
yeah, yeah, that was the one I was talking
yeah,
about.
it was the timing. I'm like, yes, that's perfect timing. That gold splatter on the ground was like, damn, like that is legit. Like, I
I
was
thought
like,
so
fuck, that
too.
looks
I
pretty
really,
sick.
really thought so too.
Yeah. And like, I'm like, yeah, he's uploaded this at the right time. It's going to get picked up. It's going to get recommended. And it just, like, as you were saying, it didn't do as well as you expected it. I was just like, wow, that's the thing these days. I've been told by an anonymous source that on YouTube nowadays, it's more about, like blatantly, clickbaiting. It's not clickbaiting per se. It's just kind of over exaggerating something. So
Yeah,
when,
tastefully getting you excited, which is
yeah,
nothing wrong with that. If you do want to make someone eager to go watch it, you don't want it to be bland. Like, so I definitely agree.
yeah, and the fact that, um, it's something I'd like to address on this too. That, like, like I don't know if you'd exactly call my videos clickbait, because in, like, they do have some basis of clickbait in the title, and, well, not all of them, but some of them, and the photo where I get the red circle out and shit.
Hmm.
But to me, that's how I get drawn into videos. That's what makes me want to, watch them in the first place. It's like, just say you'll look, if you, I don't really read books, but for example, you go to a bookstore and you judge the book by its cover. A lot
Definitely,
of
yeah.
people,
Everybody
it's just
does.
like you
You'd
don't
lie to
go,
yourself if you don't.
yeah, it's like you don't buy a book, you don't, sit in the bookshop and read it and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy this and read it later,
Right.
like, or anything. You're gonna check out the cover, and it's just the kind of same context. Like, I'm not trying to, like, disregard clickbaiting, because to me clickbaiting is like, fuck, for example, oh, God.
You
Clickbaiting to me
you won't
is,
believe what I got in this sticker pack. Like,
yeah, that kind of stuff. And then there's like a big arrow pointing at something, and that thing in the thumbnail isn't actually in the video at all, kind of thing.
yeah, and there's a thousand
That,
dollars all of a sudden in the title. Like,
yeah, to me, that's clickbait. That's like, it's misleading
yeah, yeah.
more than clickbait. Like, clickbait is you get your click, but clickbait is you click on it and you watch all the way to the end expecting something to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for example, my recent sticker slapping episode where it says I got yelled at, I did actually get yelled at, but the fact that I didn't actually get it on record, it's like, well, I would consider that maybe clickbait, but the fact that it did happen
Mm-hmm.
and people will just kind of have to take my word for it that it did happen. And I did kind of talk about it in the video from one clip, and then I kind of cut to when I was like kind of walking away and kind of explaining to the camera that, that I was, someone
Getting
just yelled at
harassed.
me.
Yeah.
And like, so yeah, I think kind of in a way, clickbait is just a part of YouTube these days.
Oh yeah, there's
But
no way. There's no way we're getting away from it.
yeah, but the long story short, there's a difference between clickbait and being misleading. And
Yeah.
I don't ever want to I don't ever want to be misleading to people. I just I try to make the thumbnails like, not, I don't know, like to me, as I was saying, like the red circle around like a sticker on a pole or whatever, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you'd call that clickbait. I don't know if anyone would call that clickbait, but to me, that's what would get me to watch the video,
Yeah.
you know?
No, I don't think you should feel bad about that, especially if you are well representing, the content within the video and the titles there and all. I think it's, the way the world kind of has to work. You have to be able to sell the opportunity at some face value, and if you're not going to make a slight to make people more eager to do it, it's going to get passed by somebody else trying to make something look extra lavish. So I don't think it's the end of the world.
Yeah. I suggest, man, like, I know you don't, like, you're not all for it, but I reckon if you just do like a little experiment, and the next video that you think is going to do very well, or decent at least, just kind of don't clickbait it, don't like over exaggerate the title or anything, just kind of do a big red circle around something.
Right, right.
Like that's what people love, like it's clean looking,
Hmm. Well, yeah, and
like
it gets you to take an extra second and look at it for a little bit longer, and then you can decide if you really want to, click on it and watch the whole video.
yeah.
No, I mean, I totally agree. The red arrow and red circle are a vicious catch for a lot of things out here, but I'm guilty of
Yeah.
it too, here and there.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I mean. It's just a part of it, really, these days.
Hmm.
Uh, I've noticed that even though I have a fair few amount of viewers now that are consistently watching, if I make a video that has a picture of my sticker and then there's another picture next to it in the same thumbnail with like a red circle around it, that's doing well than another video that has no circle in it at all for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like the red is like the thing in Bird Box where it's like draws you in, and then it's like, what?
Well, it is because I mean, the YouTube's a white backdrop, and the only things that are red are things that you should look at, like YouTube logo, YouTube like people that are live streaming, the how much you've watched a video, the subscribe button. So they slowly train you to red is good, red is something that it's worth looking at. Like
Yeah.
they're the biggest proponents of why clickbait survives. Like
Yeah. I've definitely seen some channels in the past though that have, peaked. They've gone like nothing to do with, what we do, what you do, what I do.
mhm.
But I've seen big channels where they've, you know, fake giveaways,
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and like the video, otherwise blah blah blah, and subscribe and stuff, and you'll be entered and shit. And these people would have like a couple of million subscribers, but they're not even averaging like a K a view,
Hmm.
because it's all clickbait, it's all trickery, just to get you, get the numbers up of likes and subscribers. But people don't really know that it's not about the subscribers and not about the likes. It's not about, like, if you get into like serious terms, it's all about the watch time.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's definitely what
I've
YouTube
found
wants.
that yeah, the average duration of my videos that people click out of is about 2 minutes. So from like I'm in the middle of making a video today, and I'm only just going to make it for 2 minutes because I'm like, well, I don't want to bore people. I don't, because ages ago people were saying, well, make longer videos. And I'm like, well, I'll try do longer videos, but at the
You
same
don't,
time, I
yeah,
don't want
you don't want to
people.
ramble and drag people along.
Yeah, like I don't want to ramble. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to drag it on. Just to make it longer, and I don't want people to get bored because I don't personally like long ass videos either.
So I have
It's
an interesting thought on that is, so if you do upload a longer video, so say it's just a speed art and you're cutting out less, that almost gives the viewer an opportunity to help edit the video as they deem they want to. Because even on short videos, you probably are going to click through a little bit as soon as you get bored and, lose your train of thought and, all right, what's coming next kind of thing. So having a 10-minute video kind of keeps people around and clicks through 4 or 5 times through little 30-second increments and allows them to pace the video how they want to actually consume it, which I guess is kind of better, but you then kind of lose the artistic presentation of a video if you have the ability. Like, you don't fast forward through movies when you get bored. And that's what makes
yeah,
movies, so cultivating, is because you had to sit there for 2 hours to get the climax and the finale, whereas you get the finale as soon as you want it with YouTube because you can just go right to it. You can kind of
mm,
scrub through. So I don't know if that makes a better viewing experience because you can be involved in what's going on, or if it just makes a kind of lavish, self-centered, I just want to get what I got, what I wanted to come to this video, get what I came for, and get out as fast as I can.
yeah. Oh, that's a pretty interesting concept there, man. Because I like that idea, the way you looked at it like that, where you uploaded it at normal speed or something, and they
Hmm.
can choose to watch it at that pace. But yeah, it definitely comes down to how they want to view it, and they can just make an anticlimax of it and just kind of skip to the end and see what it looks like at the end.
I know I'm guilty of that sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, same here. I won't
It's
lie
it's
either, man.
hard
Like,
not to because you have the ability, you have the power to go get, the end result and whatever. If you get an extra little bit of dopamine from looking and putting the pieces together of what you expected the video to have, and then getting what the video allegedly promised in the title, you know, I think it would be a strange social challenge to get people to actually sit and watch videos start to finish. I think that'd be a funny feature to have to force to include. Because how many times have you been like, even like pre-roll ads? A pre-roll ad that I think I might want to watch the rest of, I don't want to watch the rest of because I can't skip into the part further because they're just going to ramble for another 30 seconds. So I end up
yeah,
not clicking the ad. And I know I've caught myself there a few times where it's like, oh, that was a good ad, but too bad I can't go find the information I want to find because it's doesn't let you scrub ahead.
yeah.
I
Man,
think,
I'm surprised you don't have ad blocker.
hey, there's the only way I can make money on making ads, so I'd be unjust if I ran it myself.
I love it.
I don't mind it so much. And not that my one view is gonna make a huge change in someone's pocket, but I guess morally I have to be upfront with it.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool, man. Like when I was living with a friend, well, not really a friend, just some roommate, a couple months ago,
Hmm.
I was watching YouTube on on his TV, and you can't obviously have ad blocker on that.
Right,
I think it
right,
was on Xbox or something. So I was like watching ads all the time, and I'm like, damn, how much are these people making? I'm like
right.
watching so many ads, you know?
Well, it's interesting too that YouTube, no longer is it just go to the creator of that video. If you jump video to video and video, whatever video started you on that train gets a little bit for every minute you keep on the site in that kind of thread,
Yeah.
which is an interesting way that they set it up. I guess that's a good way to help pay the inspiration, but I don't know. It's a weird way we consume media right now because it might be you might really give something half a second of your time a day before you really try to get rid of it from your feed and pass on to the next thing.
Mm.
Do you ever take a look at how long you spend on your phone a day? I know
Oh man.
it was trendy a couple months ago for people to publish their actual time, like usage time, and how
Yeah, I've
unsettling it was.
yeah, it sometimes lets me know. Like I don't have it set up or anything. It just
Hmm.
kind of says you've spent an average of like a gazillion years on like like
Yeah.
already today I've spent 2 hours on my phone and I only woke up like 3 hours ago.
Yep, dude, it's vicious. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm at 2 hours myself, but
Yeah, like some days are bad. Like oh man. I remember seeing like 6 hours one day.
dude, that's crazy unsettling.
Yeah, like it's easy for me to say that I'm addicted to my phone.
I
I
think we all are to some level. Like, there's no way. It's such an essential way to go about your day now. Now it's hard not to convince anybody that you aren't kind of nervous when you leave the house without it. Like,
yeah. Oh, trust me, man. Like sometimes it comes to my mind where I'm like, well, I have my phone on me 24 hours of the day. Like when you go to sleep, it's right next to my head, like
yep.
it's or when, we just say like when you're in the shower, it's like it's always in your vicinity. Like some people, I've asked some people in the past, like, can you leave home without your phone? And it's like, nah, they can't because they need to know what's happening on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, I've definitely tried to get better at that. I really go to Instagram to reply to messages, upload something, and check out what a few people are doing, and then get off of it. I try not to do the mind numbing scroll and to infinity. And I don't know if it's doing much for me, but I think it trains a little bit off of the dependency of entertainment that the phone provides.
Mm. What
But
that's a big question that I've always wanted to ask you though. Like, do you wake up to like heaps of messages? Like, are you bombarded with messages in the requests folder? In like are people always constantly coming at you with questions and always constantly trying to get in contact with you,
no,
or
it's
is it kind
almost
of like level?
I'm pretty open about I'll reply to messages and comments and stuff, so I think I keep up on it pretty good. Email's the hardest because it's like it's not a social media too, so I don't have as much reason to go there and check in on things. So an email
Mm.
might go a week without being answered, but I really do try and reply to everybody just because I mean, I'm no better than you. If you give me the time of day to ask something, I should give you the time of day to give my short opinion on it. Um, but yeah, by no means do I wake up to 40 messages a day. It's pretty tame. I might have three or four new messages and a couple conversations going with, a custom print order or a trade setup or, just shooting the shit with different art or a cool post. So by no means is it un, and by no means is it impossible to keep up with. And I think I keep a good pace at it, and I don't mind it either because it's fun to see what other people think and when they send me their art and can chit chat about it.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Yeah, because I always thought, well, God, like Sive, like how you going, Sive? Like, are you you getting like are you always like flooded out with people with staying on top of everything as well as working and studying and stuff like that? Like,
I mean, at times I've had
like
to totally cut it down. That I guess that is another thing I should say. Right now, I work a 9 to 5, so I have hours off a day to kind of dedicate to my hobby. But at times with school and whatnot, I've definitely compounded and not uploaded very frequently and not you know been as active.
yeah, yeah, it's hard to two, man. Like I'm a pretty lazy person, I won't lie. And ever since I started YouTube, pretty much all this time that I'm not at work, because I work 40 hours a week,
Yep.
Monday to Friday. Also, and I don't like, most of my free time is doing something sticker related, even if it's just screwing around on Instagram, talking to people, and like I try to bank up my videos just in case I get burnt out and stuff.
Sure, sure.
Therefore, there's still content for people to watch, because people tune in every week, and I'm just like, wow, why? like, but like, because I'm so lazy that now, because I've started this YouTube channel, working full time and then coming home, making dinner, doing dishes, working on stuff for the channel,
Definitely
like
doesn't
it's
leave you a
all,
lot.
yeah, and it's like I'm fine with it. I actually enjoy what all this is becoming into. Like I love uploading a new video and then seeing all the positive comments and support, and
Hmm.
you know replying to everybody. It's like it's probably helped me, in a mental kind of state,
Well, yeah, it
in the
gives you a
for the
little bit
better.
of direction and structure. If I definitely like having a schedule of sorts and try to commit to a video every week. And even if it is a productive use of your time. You're trying to set a, not necessarily a goal, but this is a project I want to do. It's pretty attainable to work on it in my free time. It's a decent use of your time. Like, it's not mind numbing, video games or mind numbing Instagram scrolling. Like, it's creative. It takes your attention and input. So when people do get receptive to it, it's kind of a nice feedback loop of, oh, this could be a good thing to keep up, and it's a fun thing to interact with people, and hell, I'll make some stickers while I'm doing it. Like,
Yeah, yeah. It's very it's not really me to be so passionate about doing something that I would consider. I'm not like, I don't force myself into doing it. I just
hmm
feel some days I'm like, I've got to get this done, but I don't know if I feel like it. So I'll kind of just push it ahead, and then all of a sudden, the next weekend comes around, and I'm like, well, I don't have a weekly upload. You know,
yep, yep.
like and so I don't know. Like, I'm trying to take it all in moderation. I'm trying to just do this at my own pace, but at the same time keeping up to date with everything else.
I mean, don't feel rushed too. Like, I know for myself, like, I haven't posted a specifically art video in over a month, and it's thankfully I'm able to keep content rolling with the sticker submissions because I get enough in that can basically be my weekly video.
Yeah.
Um, but yet I don't feel guilty when I have to take some downtime not to be formally creative. Like, my, I guess, project at this point, I've been trying to do some kind of gnarly tie dyes. Oh, let me send you something in the chat. This guy makes some ridiculous tie dyes, and I saw them and got kind of just interested in how he actually went about the function of the tie dye, because it looked nothing like your standard like um, spiral design that you're familiar with. It's got like super intricate colors in it and really interesting geometries, and so I've just been trying to study that and do that in my free time and see what I come up with in the midst of a different kind of creative outlook. All right, I just sent you a link. I'll if anybody
Holy
else wants to
crap.
look it up. It's gnarly, and
Wow.
I haven't gotten
Yeah.
close to it. His Instagram is Jake underscore ROELOFS Rolofs.
Shit,
It's
that's
gnarly.
tie dye. That's not like
Yeah,
a screen print or
no
anything. That's tie dye.
tie dye. So he ties them up with some string. I've been using like fishing line, and that works pretty well. I think they use something a little different, but I just a Instagram suggestion of a suggestion happened upon this page, and so now I've kind of been just in the throes of trying to learn this new skill and seeing how it folds into my own artwork. Um,
And I'm really keen to see that, because I did a bit of tie dyeing back in the day.
mhm.
You know, with some chicks, and
Yeah, right.
and yeah, and I'm like, yeah, this is a pretty girly thing to do, but like, do you want to wear them? And then like, later, and
Yeah.
and like, I don't know, I just got like these things, these just like cheap kind of like a kit,
Hmm.
and they didn't turn out as well as I thought, but that's amazing, man. Like,
And I
I'd
mean,
love to
it
see
goes,
what you can do.
yeah, it goes to show that like if someone's gonna perfect a skill, now's the era to do it because someone's got the bandwidth to sell 5 tie-dye t-shirts a week and it pays for his rent and he can sell 5 more next week and it's just a really cool process of and I'm not gonna go bug the guy and be, yo, you tell me your secrets, but if I'm able to come up with it and try to study it myself and do a little thing with it, I'm having fun with it. And what I think is don't pressure yourself to make art. Like by no
Mm,
means, if nothing comes of the tie dye, I would be a little disappointed. But I've got two half decent shirts that came out of it, so it's making progress. They're getting better, and it's you know at the end of the day, just a fun new skill or something new to tackle, whether it's a new problem or what have you. And it definitely breaks the mold of the repetitiveness to that YouTube producing can be.
mm,
I know the editing side of things just never thrills me. Editing some of the bigger art projects is fun, but
yeah,
you know, sitting down and just having to listen to myself for half an hour with sticker submissions and chop out a couple spots where I show an address or something isn't
yeah,
exhilarating. Like that's not super fun, but it's
yeah.
part of the whole process, so it is what it is.
Yeah, the biggest problem with me is like I do scripts for my videos, so
Okay.
it's a lot of I just try to cut out the and R, but when
Yep.
I'm doing this kind of thing, talking, doing podcast or whatnot, I've noticed that I a lot and I say like a lot,
Sure, just verbal fillers, yeah.
yeah, and I think I remember I remember talking to you about that on Instagram. Like, how do you avoid fillers?
Hmm. I mean, my suggestion is always just be if you know and you're knowledgeable about what you want to talk about, you're not going to have to fill it with nonsense. You're going to kind of have a natural story in your head that you can hit the 5 bullet points and go from there. And two, I don't think, the ums and ahs and the verbal fillers really detract that much. It's kind of a natural part of conversation, not to be a TED talk and ramble things out for 20 minutes in a monologue. Like people are used to hearing that. So by no means us talking now have I ever picked the fact that you said like too much. Like it's just not a, and I think I rarely see that in videos, and I'm rarely, caught in the fact that people are umming or ahhing too much. So it's probably just second nature. Like I think you should just go with the flow. And I did scripts for a while and just got bored of the fact that I was messing up the sentence, and it wasn't like it doesn't matter about the content or what I got through. It was I would mess up the one sentence and I'd feel obligated to go start it over and get it perfect,
Oh,
and it would
oh
take
man,
forever. Like and that
man,
took
yeah.
6 times longer to film the video and get the same thing out. Whereas I could just think through the 5 things I kind of wanted to talk about and just go at it, and it is what it is. What it comes out like.
Yeah. Oh man, tell me about that. Oh man.
Well, when it's
When
on paper, you feel like you have to stick to it. Like,
yeah, yeah. Like when I type scripts in like Notepad or WordPad on the computer,
hmm.
and I just use Audacity when I do the kind of videos where it's just photos on the screen and it's
Yep.
just like my avatar character moving around, and they'll and if I'm recording and I screw up once and I'm like, well, I'm gonna screw up a heap of times. I don't I don't like just keep it going. I just start again, as you were saying. Like I
Hmm.
just start from scratch with the voice thing. And it seems it's easier for me to edit once I've finished recording my voice, that voice aspect.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So the scripts, like I can I'm trying to be more myself,
Hmm.
bring my humor out so people aren't getting bored with my content, because I don't want people to be like, well, this guy's too serious. Like, where's his humor?
Really, really
I was like, I
linear.
have a
Yeah.
humor, man. Like, I'm the weirdest. I'm the weirdest person you'll ever meet, honestly.
We both like
But
stickers a lot. Yeah, that goes without
yeah,
saying.
yeah, and like I'm trying to like not read word for word from the scripts that I do for
Hmm.
those type of videos. But you can definitely, if you look back, you can see the videos that aren't scripted and then are scripted, and
I think that's
it's like
probably
I can definitely tell the difference.
that. Yeah, I would agree. I think it's all kind of self-prescribed. Not that like it's unnoticeable to anybody else, but I felt more uncomfortable listening to myself so like dogmatically reading the thing line for line and just probably 50% of the emotion in there because I'm more focused on getting the sentence perfect than just going at it and talking about the topic more than anything. So I think,
Yeah.
and that it made it less fun to make the video too. I was like, I, I had no interest in reading a script when I am rambling off of something that I know a lot about, whether it's, you know, the performance of a marker or the cool sticker that I'm looking at. Like, there's no reason that that has to be such a, scripted, exact thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think over time it just gets easier in a
Yeah,
way.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But you always got to be in the right mindset with what you want to produce. Like if you had a bad day and you want to come home and make a video, it's not going to turn out as well as you think because you're not in the mood to do it.
Right.
And I find that that's when I get kind of stressed with, well, I have to make a video, and then that's when I start screwing up the script when
Hmm.
recording it stuff. It all comes down, all comes crashing down,
I
and
think
the
that.
fact that
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Continue.
that's it, man.
Uh,
That's another filler word.
it all comes crashing. No, but I agree. Like, I feel, that's a principle of art and life in itself is that, like, when you force something to fit, it's gonna feel awkward when you finally, jam it in there and it's done with. So, giving yourself the time to not be forced into that really does let you be a little bit more creative. Granted, pressure does make you work faster and come up with unique solutions, so the reverse of that can be true, but having a little bit of, you know, free time to actually develop and try something new out or not feel obligated to make the next video or make that next sticker pack gives you a little bit of creative freedom in the end of the day to take a 10 seconds off and not be so seriously about making some sticker videos like should be for the fun at the end of the day.
Yeah, it comes down to if you feel like doing it, do it.
Right.
It's like the other day, like all this week, every day when I got home from work, I'm like, I feel like doing something, not because I have to,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of stickers or anything. I just feel like I want to utilize this time and work on videos and stuff, but I don't end up doing it because I feel in my mind that because if there's background noise or there's like someone home that I can't really record anything, which is kind of why I, if the live stream or whatever that we were going to do,
Mm-hmm.
it would be tomorrow because I know that I have some time alone, you know,
Sure.
and like I feel like that would, the fact that if I know no one's home, I can be louder, I can be normal, I
Yep.
can
Yep.
focus more, but that's when I kind of feel rushed again to make videos or do something where I have to talk
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, well, I got to finish it before someone gets back home. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to focus. But it doesn't seem to be like that. I used to feel like that when I was living with that random dude. But now that I live with someone else now, it's like I should be fine with it because they understand what I do and they support what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, dad
Right.
supports everything I do. So
Yeah, I never felt awkward behind a closed door. It would be different now. I live in a one bedroom apart with my girlfriend, so I'm definitely not filming videos in the living room where my desk is when she's also sitting in the living room. That I can feel the awkwardness there, but yeah, closed door really can do wonders for just making it your space to hash out a video and make it happen.
yeah, it definitely comes down to that. I didn't know there was a Mrs. Side, but
Oh yes,
that's quite personal.
no, it's all good. But it's funny, I get in that same predicament when I haven't been able to film like really formal spray paint reviews because I don't have a personal wall where I can go sit and talk to a camera about the cap that's being used. So I definitely have been a little taken back with, well, I don't want to be the guy that shows up to a legal wall to do a cap test. Like, it's kind of against the the morals of what that thing's in place for. So,
Yeah.
so I got to come
Yeah.
up with a creative way that I can get a temporary wall at my apartment complex.
Yeah.
Though the one time I tried to do it out on our porch, the guy below me goes, "What's that smell?" And I go, "Oh, spray paint." He goes, "Good, getting high down here." I was like, "All right." So
Okay.
I guess I got a mild appreciation, but there's enough people around here that I don't want to have to be that neighbor, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to be that guy.
My roommates put up enough with it when I was in school that I blessed them, but I can't really do that with people that don't pay the same rent as I do.
Yeah.
They're not forced to be my friend.
Yeah. And that's the fact. Like you. Well, that's another thing. Like, probably shouldn't be talking about on a like a recording. But like, you're from Philadelphia, yeah?
Not originally. I went to school there for college, so I spent the last 5 years there. So can't quite claim it as my own, but spent a good deal of
Yeah.
time there.
Okay. Yeah. Because yeah, like it. I remember because I've been watching your videos on and off for a fair few years now. Like
Hmm.
that you moved so many different places and you had the same kind of setup at different area,
Yep.
different rooms, different places.
Hmm.
It's like wow, this guy's moving a lot. Like imagine my big question is like because I suppose you're settled down to where you are now.
Yeah,
It's like when you were moving everything with sticker submissions, like all the moving, like how did you do it, man? Like
it wasn't
because you would have had
fun.
heaps of stuff.
So the way it kind of worked was, I had all my like big screen printing stuff at my house where I grew up. So I left that all pretty much there. There was no way I was going to be able to keep that in my small dorm room regardless, or, my small apartments. And then it wasn't till I guess my third year in school, me and, 6 other guys moved into a house. And so had a full basement and had a backyard little area. So that was enough space to start bringing some of the bigger stuff to have on hand. Um, but lots of boxes, and then also not being super attached to your stuff. Like if a supply is only got 25% of its life left, kind of pitch the marker because you're just going to be lugging it around and then it's going to be dry when you go use it next. So it definitely made me kind of lock in on what supplies I wanted to keep on hand, and how many stickers I actually needed to be reasonable inside my little room or under my desk.
Yeah, so you kind of just utilized everything.
Yeah, and just was kind of cruel in my judgment of, all right, am I actually going to get use out of this in the next year, or am I literally just moving it and it's going to sit in the same box it's been sitting in? So I don't know if you caught some of those kind of videos around Christmas time. It would be me digging through my boxes, being like, all right, I have probably enough for 50 packs of stickers. I'm ready to send them if you want them. Just pay for shipping, kind of thing. And I would
Yeah.
clear a bunch of stuff out that way. Just because it's not trash for the most part, but if I
Yeah.
don't need the stuff to take up the room and I don't want to move it, it's more fun to give it to somebody that'll get something good out of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's another thing I was gonna talk to you about too. The fact that I saw in the past that not you, but
Okay.
someone else was getting stickers sent into them like via a submission,
Hmm.
and then they would kind of sell people stickers.
Okay.
But the biggest thing is like people kind of misunderstand that when you send out a couple of their stickers in orders, you're not selling their stickers, that you're just kind of adding them in there as a free thing just to kind of get them out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly have never heard. No one's ever given me that huge critique. And I always stand by the fact that, like, all right, when I print stickers, there's going to be leftovers that are misprints or whatnot. So I'll just throw them in. But I'm always really trying to be careful that I'm not trying to sell other people's artwork, because without full written and agreed permission between the two of you, there is some moral wrongs to do that. To
Mm.
just like, and especially with the sticker submission stuff, like a lot of that's hand drawn artwork that people are sending to get exchanged around. It is not my place to sell that, so that's why it's
Mm.
always just pay for the shipping. And it sucks for international orders that cost me $5, but if you're willing to pay the shipping, it by all means is art that you are just as deserving to have as I am.
Mm. Yeah, and that's yeah, like that's what I've always kind of thought too about. Like I was like, fuck, I hope people don't think that you or me are selling people's art when people send it in to us for free. For example, like I don't do what you do. As people were asking me if I will ever do what you do with the self-addressed stamp,
Okay,
envelopes.
yep.
Um, I don't really. When people send in stickers to me, as you know, I just kind of I put a couple aside to put up in the streets,
Mm-hmm.
and I make sure that I take a photo and I like in the video of a sticker slapping episode and a sentence slap episode. Um, but I never really when I sell sticker packs, all the sticker packs that I sell are my stickers, and then I may add a couple from other people, but they're just in there as extras. I don't sell other people's work. Like I can't stress that enough. Like I
Mm-hmm.
used to, whenever anyone asks to buy a pack from me for like my stickers, I would say yes for sure, no worries. But I'm gonna also add a couple, just maybe two or three or five, or like one sticker per artist that I've got for this month,
I think
just to
that's
kind of
fine because
yeah, like
you
it's what
wouldn't be
yeah, it's what
upset.
you do.
Like it's not like someone showing off a pack. Like, look at these 5 UFO slaps I got. Hey, do you want to buy this pack of 2 of my stickers and 5 of his? Like, it's not represented in that way. So I think honestly, you wouldn't be mad if someone happened to throw a few of yours in along the mix because they have some extras. So I think it is kind of a handshake at that point of treat these nicely. Don't take me high and dry and start selling all my designs. But
Mm,
I've also had the thought to like, is there do I have the platform? Do I have the opportunity to offer people to help support the distribution of other people's sticker packs? Them send me 5 or 10 made up packs, and I list them on my website or whatnot. And I've thought about that, and I don't sell enough stickers to make a huge impact, I'm sure, comparatively to someone who you would already know from their website. But I've considered like, would it be a fun practice to be like, all right, for I'll pay 5 artists $50 each, and we'll make 50 sticker packs, and everybody gets the profit split evenly, and I just help
mm.
moderate and get them shipped out and whatnot. And there hasn't been an opportunity where I thought that fit nicely, but I think even something on that level, as long as it's really clear at what everybody's involvement is, there shouldn't be any hard feelings on what, comes out of the fact that someone is trying to, sell art at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So long as, you have permission to use the work and everybody's cool with it.
yeah. That sounds like a pretty interesting idea too, man. But yeah, I think a uh couple of crews. I won't disclose them because like it doesn't matter. But there's a couple of crews that do that, like sticker crews, where they've got like a big cartel open and they got like a pack and it contains like all the people in the crews, a couple of each person's stickers.
Hmm.
And I yeah, I think that's a pretty cool idea. Like as long as you know everyone's okay within a certain crew, uh, like just in general, like if anyone was to do that, like just like try to sell a pack with heaps of different people's stuff in it,
Hmm.
it's like you got to make sure that everyone is cool with it,
Right.
and yeah, like it's just yeah, it's I don't know. There's a lot of like you got to ask a lot of questions and
Well, I think the biggest thing is just making sure everyone's on the same page with what is the product, and how is it being represented. Like, if it
mm,
is truly a combo sticker pack where I've got 5 of my stickers in it, you've got 5 of your stickers, and we're selling it jointly. I don't. There's no reason that there should be an issue there, but obviously the gray area is, well, I've got a bunch of freebies that are left over from custom print stuff. They're literally in a box. I have no use for them. It's probably better if I just start packing 10 of them up in every pack and just get them out to people and they have their fun with it. But it's not like I ever take photos of what the sample pack looks like. It's just totally random. You get what you get. It's whatever I've got left over from some extras that are sticker submissions, and what are extras from custom prints, and what are extras from my own stuff here and there. Like, it's always just a nice random assortment. And I think that adds a fun level to it because your sticker could pop up in a random place, and so could mine, and the person receiving it could have been looking for a sticker from you and not been able to get one, kind of thing.
Yeah, and yeah, like that was another question I would have. Like, yeah, and they people don't ask that they don't ask specifically, sorry, to like what they get from a return pack from you
Hmm.
in return. Like in regards to this, sticker submissions is whatever it's complete at random. But my question is, because I don't trade anymore and I
Hmm.
sent in for the last sticker submissions, do you believe or do you think that you'll get questions for people to, despitely say, well, can you add some UFO stickers in my
I definitely have had people, but it's always, the same answer. I don't pick the packs. I literally take a handful of stickers. Well, I lay out all the envelopes just face up, and then I have a handful of stickers, and I go through the pack until, if in some cases when I get big packs like yours and whatnot, I might make it all the way around to every pack with one sticker, and then I'll just shuffle off till I get to a new artist under you, and then just do the next round. And
Mm,
the times I do get a little bit tailored to it is if, it's a big envelope and I have an opportunity to fit a poster in there that doesn't have to get folded 15 times. I might prefer that, and that's a fair trade in my opinion. You sent a big envelope, I'm going to send something that is going to take advantage of that. But
yeah,
when the posters run out, they run out. Like, it is what it is. You could not get a poster and the guy next to you could, and you could have sent them at the same time. And people do ask, hey, like, I'm a decent artist. Can you make sure I get some decent stuff? And it's like, no, I obviously try to spread out the really good artists, and I'm not putting 5 really good stickers in one pack when 2 packs next to it got a bunch of prints. Like,
yeah.
I do
I
try to distribute equally amongst what I have. So, and I think that's really the only decent way to do it. You can't really try to, feed packs that are really good or feed packs that are really bad. It's everybody sent in the same. It's the only
yeah,
way this
and
system's going to keep
yeah,
going.
exactly. Like it's all fair and uniform. And I've noticed that you most definitely don't pick favorites in any kind of context, and that's why I really appreciate you, man, because you are, you're not fake. You're legit. You're legit, man. Like,
Well, there's
and the
no
fact,
reason not to. Like, who am I kidding? Like, yes, there are better artists. Like, duh, I'm not the
yeah.
best artist. Like, we're gonna be 1,000 people that send in the sticker submissions. Then none of them's gonna be the same skill level.
Mm.
But there's no reason that you can't find something good in a lot of the stickers that do come in.
Yeah, and the fact, yeah, like you don't play favorites or anything like, and that, yeah, it's cool that you just, yeah, that's exactly right. There's really no reason to play favorites, and of course there is better artists out there. There's, like some have a better skill level than others, and I see that you appreciate that too.
Hmm.
And people like to be blatantly honest in the comments and be like, oh, such and such is toy
That's totally
or
fair though. Like it.
and whatnot. Yeah, it was like that's their point of view. They
Hmm.
can think how they'd like, but it's there's no point, kind of, to me, and like for us being on YouTube, it's not. There's no point to kind of send negative vibes of any type.
Right.
I don't like. The only negative vibes I've ever really done that I believe is just hating on bill posters.
That
Like
was in good taste.
it's, yeah, it's like in some cases you can't be completely honest with things per se, because it's like, well, you got to just you got to kind of give it an unbiased opinion in some cases,
Right.
just with anything in general, you know.
I mean, if you have a good opinion about it, it's you can have a smile amongst your day without having to be so critical about everything. And
Mm.
I think that goes far. And it's not like my videos are supposed to be, the home run derby of artists every week. Like that's such an unrealistic expectation. It's supposed to be a time where you can take some inspiration around 10 different artists that happen to all be sending in, and you can get a chance to just listen to my opinion about it. And if you disagree with that, by all means voice it in the comments and we'll chat about it. But you know
Yeah.
it's at the end of the day, it's still a service for people to be able to exchange their stickers by some means. And I just happen to also be able to publish it publicly with you know a forum of people that also are interested in the topic. So
Mm.
it's definitely a fun and a challenging thing, because I've considered ways of, I used to do single pack videos where it was, the trade of the week that I made, and it was just
Yeah,
that
I remember
artist.
seeing them.
And
Yeah.
those were fun, and those were shorter and, more attuned to artists that I could selectively say, hey, I really want to trade with you. I like your art a lot. I think it's great. Hey, let's make a trade. And that was that. And I've considered trying to do that a little more, but I'm just definitely not at a point where I would feel justified where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna send you a pack of 30 prints, and that's pretty much all I can offer. And do you mind sending like 10 hand-drawn characters? That'd be sick. Like I would never ask somebody of that. So I don't know if there's ever an opportunity to bring back that kind of caliber of packs on a, a singular basis.
Yeah, I feel that it it also that kind of thing comes under falls under picking kind of favorites in a way.
Yep.
Like so just saying in the past like I like there's just so many things that come to mind, you know, that I could, you know, that we could talk about, man, because it's like I don't know, I don't know how to describe it, but like it's kind of back in like a couple of months ago I did a video where I did like a hand drawn sticker collab with like Czech, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like now that I put that up, everyone else, like
Hey,
other
can we
people are
collab?
asking, yeah, everyone's like, let's do a collab, you know, and it's like, well, I don't trade anymore because, you know, it costs so much to trade. And you know, like you don't trade anymore either. Like,
Yeah, no.
do you? It's like, how do you, like, what's the reason? Like, I say that I can't afford to trade with this many people, so I'm kind of just ending it here with the trading. And you know, the fact that I've been ripped off so many times in the past, it's like it's hard to. I don't like to say no to people. Like I
Yep.
feel bad. It's like, man, I'm sorry, but you know, if you'd like to buy a pack, you know, that's cool. But I don't do it for the money. Like I don't make any profit from
Mm.
selling stickers. You know, like all the money that I make or get in return from selling my stickers in
Mm-hmm.
packs, or sticker packs, they just go back into getting more prints or going towards something sticker related,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And like and like what like when do people still ask you these days if you want to trade, and like how do you let them down with a simple no?
I mean, I have the trade service now, and that's kind of the stand-in because I can't trade like I used to. That's, there's an opportunity there for somebody else. It is not what I can achieve now. I can't make packs of hand rounds anymore. I definitely just don't have the time to make the quality I would want to be considered a trade. So I say, yeah, if you want to score some stickers that have my designs on them, I send, 3 or 4 prints of my stuff in every sticker trade for the sticker submissions. We can
Mm,
treat that as a small trade, but by no means can I tailor a pack to you. And, you know, respectfully, people are normally just like, all right, sounds good, or sure, I'll send a pack in, sounds good. It'd be cool to get featured on a video. And that's that. Like, there's
mm,
no, at times, yeah, it was, oh, I'm not really trading right now, or the classic, oh, I'm selectively trading. Like, you hate to hear that, but it's like, people are there trying to do their thing and not have to say yes to everybody, and also not have to hear the banter of like, well, why not me? Why didn't you want to trade with me? Come on, my stuff's
mm,
good. Like, and that happens, and there's no reason you shouldn't be proud of what art you're making, but it also doesn't hurt to ask, and there are chances when I am willing to pack up some stickers and get some stuff to somebody, and as a thank you to stickers they sent me. If there's a really crazy pack that comes through sticker submissions, I might go out of my way to send them some more of my work, just because it goes to show that they were happy enough to share theirs with me and everybody else. I'm happy to share some of mine with them. But
yeah, it's a really kind of gray area, because like you want to support, so you want to support everyone
right,
entirely, but at the same
because I
time,
was
some
there,
people,
like, as was everybody else. Like, no one was great to start, and everybody wants to trade with everybody.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And the fact that, what about, I think I don't know when you hit record exactly, but when we were talking before about uh you know live streaming, and it's like, well, I remember asking you a couple of months ago, like, am I famous enough to do, to talk to you like we're talking here? And, and it's like, well, because I do the Slap podcast, which I
Hmm.
should have been recording all this for,
Hey,
but
you can have this audio. It is just
oh
all
no,
yours as much as it is mine. There's no reason it
nah,
has to stay on
not at
one
all, man.
channel.
Nah, that doesn't matter. Like, I'd rather this be on yours anyway. It's hard because so many people, ever since I've done the Slap podcast, I do it so often now that a lot of people are asking to do it, and I kind of just had to put like an age restriction on it, as in, if I'm going to keep doing these podcasts with people that people don't necessarily know too much about, like they're just kind of more so, just viewers of mine, and I I kind of just have to put like an age restriction, like 18 and over kind of thing on it. Otherwise, I'm getting too many young people, and you know how that kind of looks in another person's perspective.
I could
Like,
see that,
I'm
yeah.
22, like you're like 20 something too,
Yeah,
and it's like the last thing you want to do is talk to like a 12-year-old. It's kind of off-putting, and it's like, again, that comes back to, I hate to say no, but at the same time, like you know such and such is a bit young to do this. I hope you understand, kind of thing. And they could turn around and start hating on you,
I mean,
and
I think it's always going to be one of those. You're going to have somebody that is upset that they can't do it, but it's your thing, and you don't even, I think even setting an age limit is almost too hard of a rule for yourself, that you're going to cause potential issue with someone that you do want to talk to that's 17, and then you're going to make an exception, and it's going to be a whole thing. You just have to be honest with, I'm going to pick people that I think have an interesting story. Feel free to reach out if you think you have an interesting story, but it also needs to be, that genuine interaction, because
mm,
you don't want to sit there and have that, the awkward interview for 10 minutes, and then there's no commonality, and, oh, this is weird. Let's cut this off and never upload it, kind of thing. But
mm,
yeah, I think someone that would be upset that you don't want to have them on the podcast isn't somebody that understands what the platform is and what the conversation is supposed to be about. Because if they're getting upset about a simple no, they wouldn't, how would they want to participate for an hour when you might disagree on a topic or something like that? Like, I don't think it should be
mm.
that personal of a stake.
Yeah. that's just how that's just kind of how a couple of them I've done. I won't mention certain ones, but it's back when I was like, oh, I'm still not good at recording
Hmm.
podcasts, but it was, it's like, what do you talk about? Like,
Right.
it's, yeah, it's like, it was at that point where I was like, well, where do I go with this? And I found that the last two ones I've done with Check is been by far the best, because I don't know, he knows what to talk about, and I would kind of get like starstruck and be like, well, what do I do? Which is why I hate the fact that, when, just say, like you were saying something, and then when you finish it, I'll be like, yeah. Like,
Yep, yep.
it's like, oh yeah, I don't care, but it's not, I don't mean that. It's just like, I don't know what to say. What do
Right,
I say?
right.
And it's kind of like a thing I suppose will eventually be something more, you'll get better. I'll get better at it. I mean, I'll get
Oh,
better
for
at it
sure. Yeah, I
in the
mean,
future.
you get more comfortable in the conversation space, and to, you know, when you do, I've always thought, the few times I've done live streams with 3 or 4 other artists, it's always great to have multiple people in there. So, you have the different opinions and you have the difference of topics and whatnot. And so, I'm all for like long form conversation and getting some deeper ideas out and having that ability to get, you know, opportunity for conversation with people that are very different than you. And like you said, Czech brought a lot of unique things to the table, and it made for a good, genuine feedback between the two of you. And that makes good entertaining content too, and thought provoking, I'm sure. So you can't really ask for more after that.
Yeah, I think he did something. He done like some kind of podcast in that nature. That's all. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
But I think he does have a bit of experience with, this kind of stuff. So
Hmm.
it's really cool that Czech helps me out. Czech's a legend. Shout out to Czech.
He is a good
Yeah, and
guy.
you definitely know who Czech is.
Oh, for
You've done
sure.
a lot of stuff with him in terms of printing his stuff, and
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Man loved my eggshells while I was screening them.
yeah. I'm like, damn, I should have got onto them.
Maybe one day I'll be able to bring it back. Not enough room in this apartment, though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, did you want to kind of wrap this up?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Is it getting a bit late for you there, man?
It's almost 11, but
Yeah.
we're chilling. It's all good. Well, definitely have to send some people over your way to UFO stickers on YouTube. You'll be able to find it if you type that, no doubt, because the UFO uh, channel that is now smashed down below him is no longer pulling up anywhere. So,
I'm sorry.
yeah, right. No, that's good branding on your part. Yeah, that's just one sour cookie. Well, I hope you enjoyed the podcast here with UFO. It was a great time to sit down and chit chat about art and street art. So feel free to check out his channel. It'll be linked in the description. He's got a bunch of sticker related stuff over there. So be sure to maybe check out some of the videos while you're on the page. I look forward to the next time. That's going to do it for me, guys.